We will begin the Stanford press conference in just a few minutes. The student athletes and head coach are on their way. While we're waiting, just a few reminders. If you could please take a minute to check your cell phone and make sure that the sound has been turned off. Also, again, flash photography and video recording are not permitted. If you can please raise your hand if you have a question, identify your name, affiliation, and which student athlete the question is directed to. That would also help. Thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Stanford women's basketball team. We are joined at the podium by head coach Tara Vanderveer and student athletes Erica McCall and Lily Thompson. Also, McCall and Thompson have been named to the all-tournament team. We will begin with with an opening statement for the head coach.
First, I'd like to congratulate Washington. I thought they played a great game, and I'm really excited that we will be represented by the Pac-12 at the Final Four. And obviously I hope another team goes too. Secondly, I just thought that for our team, I'm really proud of how our team battled. We played really well for 3 quarters and really outscored them in 3 quarters. But unfortunately, we dug ourselves too big a hole in the first quarter. But we just for some reason just did not come out with the intensity and aggressiveness that we needed to. But I'm really proud of our team. We've had a great season. We have a very young team that I hope will rededicate itself in the off season, and we want to be back here and going to the Final Four next year.
And we will open it up with questions for the student athletes.
Steve Micargi, Associated Press. For Lily, that first quarter, was it just shots not falling, or what caused, do you think caused a slow start?
I think that they came out with more energy than us. I think that those first few possessions, they really put their heads down. They were aggressive, and they kind of just came out and threw the first punch.
For Lily or Erica, what about the Washington 2-3 zone has made you struggle all year against it?
I think it's just something that just looking for the right shot. Yeah, we definitely struggle with that, and then when we do get the shot, I know maybe it's the pressure of their defense, but just having a hard time knocking it down. They have a really good defense. As you said, we struggle with all year, so hopefully we'll come back next year and find a way to solve that problem.
To Erica, Nick Gray, San Francisco Chronicle. You were 0 for 7 in the first half. Personally, what were they doing to kind of get you to not produce at the clip that you usually do?
Yeah. Honestly, it felt like I just didn't have the energy that I had in the previous games to where I could knock down my shots. They had good defensive pressure, but I think a lot of it was just on me and how my performance was and how my energy level was. And, I had teammates like Lily to pick me up, and that definitely helped me out in the second half.
John Huang, Nolan Group. This is for Erica. Pretty physical inside. You held your own with rebounds today.
Yeah. Oscar is a pretty physical player. One of our main things for one of our main game plans was to box out and limit their defensive boards. So yeah, they're pretty physical. But I'm proud of how me and the bigs rebounded.
Any other questions for the student athletes? If not, then they can be dismissed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will open it up with questions for the head coach.
Tara, did you feel there coming into the beginning of the game that you guys were kind of low on the energy and that you would have had a run, Washington would have had a run that
again, I don't know that I can ever get in the heads of the 18 to 22-year-olds. It was disappointing not to, to come out and, but I credit them. First of all, both Kelsey Plum and Chantel Osahor had tremendous games. Osahor was really the difference. She came down and hit 2 threes, I think, right in transition to 10-0 run. I don't even know if it was a 12-0 run or 12-0 run or 13-0 run. You can't start against a team like that. So defensively we were a step slow. If you could say, well, maybe it's so early West Coast time. Well, they are West Coast too. So I don't have any really the answers for it. It was disappointing. We did I think we did regroup, and we had some people making some plays, but we count on Bird scoring, and where I think that we have a very young team that I hope will learn a lot from this experience, and we know how fortunate we are to be here, just with the close game we had with South Dakota State and also with Notre Dame. We're disappointed, but hopefully that will energize people to look and see, be more skilled basketball players. They have a very skilled team. Kelsey Plum is an All-American, flat out, period. There's no player that we played on any other team all year that was harder to guard than her. So she ended up with like 26 points, and that's her average. You can't foul her. You can't take away left. She can't take away right. She's really a great player. And then Osahor had a great game. For us, I think that, we really struggled finding any combination on the floor with, we don't really, like Bird is kind of more of a face-up post player, so being inside against Osahor was really tough on her, and they're very physical.
Steve Micargi, Associated Press. I know you've talked about Osahor, but I think she made like 3 baskets in the first 2 games against y'all. A ton of rebounds, but not much scoring. Mm-hmm. What was the difference today that she was able to have so much success scoring?
Well, she came down the court the first 5 possessions, and how many threes does she have? She made 2 threes right off the bat, all right? And I don't know when her 3rd 3 came, but she hit 2 threes right off the bat where was our defense on that one? It was very disappointing to see that. She's very capable. We know she can hit shots up there. And so, going to 8 for 11. And then she's really, she's out there, and then she's very physical, gets on the low block. She scored on the low block, made free throws, rebounds in the zone. So, I think that, she really doesn't play at a fast pace, but we were not able to speed them up to make that be an issue. She still played 39 minutes. Their team played really well. Their team is playing really well, and it would, I don't feel like we lost to a bad team. We lost to a very good team.
Tara, how difficult was it with the comeback with Carly fouling out when she did?
Yeah. That was very disappointing. Carly getting 4 fouls in the 3rd quarter. We're in trouble without her out there. I do think that Britt came in and gave us some good minutes. We're playing 2 freshmen with Marta and Alana, and I don't think they have any freshmen out there. This is the big stage, and this is great experience for people, but we didn't get the results that obviously we wanted or needed.
Obviously, that South Dakota State game, y'all looked dead to rights and were able to come all the way back, even trailing all day to day. What did you sense was the attitude of your players down the stretch? Did you
Well,
think they were still confident?
Definitely, we got it to 4, and I think people, we got it to 4 and then unfortunately turned it over. I think we kind of had to get over that hump. We had to tie it up or get some kind of lead. I won't tell you that it ever felt good. I mean, we just, like Bird said, I don't know, she had, again, she didn't feel like she had the energy. And I think that that's where, we're not used to maybe playing, we're used to playing a certain way, and we weren't able to get out running. We weren't able to really move the ball. I thought we got some good looks against the zone, but we really didn't get anything inside. So we're all, it's all threes. We shot 33 threes, which I think is probably the most we've shot all year.
Any other questions for the head coach?
All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You ready? Thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Washington women's basketball team. We're joined at the podium by head coach Mike Neighbors and student athletes Kelsey Plum, Talia Walton, and Chantel Osahor. We'll begin with opening remarks from Coach Neighbors.
Backwards or forwards?
Backwards.
Yeah, backwards.
Thank you to Lexington, Rupp Arena. It felt like home all week long. It was really class run with a lot of class. Everybody made us feel very welcome, and after the first game, made us feel like we were the home team. Congrats to Stanford for making the Elite Eight. It's really been a really good year for the Pac-12. To have 3 teams in the Elite Eight, we were guaranteed of having one in the Final Four at least for the first time in a long time. Couldn't be more proud of our entire team, these 3 beside me that have believed for a long, long time. Talia, who could have left and gone and played at any major school in the West Coast, probably the country when I got the job, and Chantel and Kelsey, who had the opportunity down to the very end to make a change, and they believed, and for us to be here validates so many things for what we work on a daily basis, and we're not done yet. What's next has been our motto, and it's going to continue to be all the way through Indy.
We'll open it up with questions for the student athletes.
Steve Micargi, Associated Press. For Chantel, we asked Kelsey this question the other day, but as your coach said, you had the opportunity as an out-of-state recruit to go somewhere else. What attracted you to Washington in the first place, and what made you kind of believe maybe y'all were capable of doing something like this if you signed here?
Just the teammates that was here, the coaches. I went to go see Nabes. He had like something to do. He came down to Arizona. I went to go talk to him, and I just felt trust. I just knew he was gonna have my back on and off the court and just be there for me. I was young, and I needed to feel that trust, and I felt that. So I knew everything else would take care of itself.
Chantel graduated from high school a year early, so she's a year younger than most people graduating in that class. That's what she's referring to on she was young.
Chantel, you couldn't achieve what you have achieved without your teammates, but your thoughts about being the MVP of this region here?
I mean, it feels good. It's my teammates, though. They had confidence in me to hit those threes and shoot the ball. They kept telling me to shoot the ball. My coaches kept telling me to shoot the ball. So we're all MVPs. I just got it, but we're all MVPs here.
Nick Gray, San Francisco Chronicle, to either Kelsey or Talia. What was the mindset going into the game, because you guys came out on a 12 overrun, Chantel hit a couple of threes. Was it anything special that maybe you guys thought, all right, we're ready to go and we're going to start fast?
I wouldn't say there was anything special. To us, we just told each other in the locker room, it's just another game. If we start thinking about what's on, Final Four or this or that, then that's when the jitters can set in and you don't really execute. But to us, it was just another game. And in our mind, what we've done all year is just believe. We came to this, and I don't think anybody picked us to win, and that's fine. That's been the thing in this whole tournament. And so we just believed in ourselves, and we know what we're capable of. And our confidence, there's no roof to it.
Matt Calkin, Seattle Times. This is for all three of you. Want to chime in too, Coach? Simple one. What does this feel like right now?
I don't think it's really hit us. I mean, we're in the Final Four. That's a huge accomplishment. I think we got to look back and appreciate it and soak it in, because it's an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. It's an opportunity that a lot of people never get. And to be in this position, I mean, I got to thank God for it. And I mean, we're not done, obviously, but it's a good feeling.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna, like Coach told me, enjoy this. Come Monday, we'll be one of the only 4 teams left in the country playing women's basketball. So this, you just got to soak it all in, and and we can't. I mean, obviously, we're gonna look forward to the Final Four to Indianapolis when that time comes. But right now, we're gonna truly enjoy this blessing.
Yeah, I've heard people say it a lot of times. It's surreal, it's numbing, and all that, but it really is. I thought they were kind of full of it, but the first thing that hit me is that, like Talia said, there's 4 teams left after today or tomorrow. I think we'll get a chance to watch 2 of them, and I follow the history of this game an awful lot, and I don't, like Talia said, I don't know what the percentage of ESPN brackets are that had us in the Final Four, but I'm going to say there's probably 0 correct. And that's when it, to me, kind of hits in what we've been able to accomplish. We will enjoy this thing until we get back to Seattle, and I'm going to let them have a day when they get back to Seattle as well. We'll be able to get to work on the plane, but I want these guys to soak this thing in. It is so rare. I want them to remember all these things 25, 30 years from now, not just not enjoy the journey.
John Huang, Nolan Group. This is for any of the players. Lexington has obviously been very, very good to Coach Neighbors. So he talked about some of the history behind the area. You're playing in historic Rupp Arena. It's such a big stage for a chance to go to the Final Four. Are you or any of the team aware of Rupp Arena and the history behind it?
Actually, before the game, I was talking to one of the ushers. He's an older gentleman, and he was talking about some of the games they've played in Rupp Arena with the men, and they've sold out. I mean, you got to get in line for tickets, and they're crazy. And he was just telling me about some of the history, so I was a little bit enlightened before the game. But I think for our team, as cool as this stage is, we were focused on the game. And I feel like if you get caught up in the moment and, you're grateful to be here and you're starstruck or whatever the case may be, you can lose focus. And I was really proud of the way, we did take pictures walking in and we were in awe, ooh, ah, but then we focused in and we got the job done.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Kelsey said, I mean, not just Rupp Arena, but Lexington as a community. I mean, the first night we got here, we went to go eat, and we had people coming up to our table telling us, wishing us good luck, and they're welcome to Kentucky, and all types of stuff. So, I mean, the people here really make this a basketball place. Like, it's phenomenal, and we're really thankful for all the support that we got.
I say this with tongue firmly planted in cheek, but Coach mentioned what you guys mentioned, how much support you got. You guys are wearing purple, which is not exactly blue, but do you think that may have played a factor in the kind of support you got from the locals here?
I think we kind of won over some of the locals in that Kentucky game. I think that at the end of the game, they really respected us and liked the way we played. It helps that our coach is dating someone that lives in Kentucky, so... I think those fans, they were very gracious after that Kentucky game, and they said, great job. We really enjoyed watching you. And I think that carried over to today. And, there was a lot of just really nice people that said, hey, we're wishing you guys the best. And, purple is kind of a shade of blue.
Chantel, the 2 previous games with Stanford, I know you had a ton of rebounds against them in the Pac-12 tournament, but you hadn't scored very much or shot particularly well against Stanford in those first 2 games. What was the difference today? Because clearly you were kind of a model of efficiency today.
Confidence in myself, teammates having confidence in me, the confidence riding from the other game. I mean, I shot it pretty well against Kentucky, and I wanted to bring that to this game, and thankfully I did.
I called a lot more plays for her tonight too. I was really bad. The first time we played Stanford, I had a terrible defensive game plan and offensive game plan. So we saw a good opportunity, and we just kept calling plays for her. And Kelsey called a couple, and Talia called a couple too down the stretch. So that was another reason that I think she hasn't scored in the past, that we didn't get her enough touches.
Adam Jude, Seattle Times. Kelsey, a really interview. How fun was it to see Kelly Kingma get in there and hit those 2 big threes in the corner in the first half? And really emphasize what you guys have been saying all week, just a total team effort.
I think everyone on our bench, everyone in our crowd, everyone not Kelly was even more excited than Kelly was, right? And those were 2 big shots. And she did not hesitate. She knocked him down. And, it's really hard to go in the game and get a ball, and even when you're open, make the shot. It's extremely difficult. I think it could be even more difficult than when you have maybe somebody in front of you. So credit Kelly. She came in against Kentucky and hit another big shot as well. So people were ready to play, and that was huge for us.
I'll add to that. Kelly, obviously a strong person of faith, has really inspired me. And I mean, like I said, and people ask us about our bench and whatnot, like any of them could have checked out. I mean, how many people want to come to practice every day and put in the work and then, sometimes not get in, sometimes get in, whatever the case may be. But she has continued to work hard, continue to just wait for her moment. And then when she came in, she shined. And that's exactly what happens. And that could be a message to all of us. If you just continue to persevere and fight and keep the faith, like anything's possible. And she's such an amazing person.
Amen.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna look
We don't only play 5 players because they're the only players we have. Mm-hmm. We do it because it's become kind of our identity and the way that the flow goes. So it's Kelly tonight. It could be Deja in the Final Four. Who knows? It could be, had Hannah Johnson not got hurt, it could be any of those kids. So we have a quality bench, and we have only decided to shorten that bench and play it like we do because of the flow that we get into and the rhythm we get into and the way these guys have conditioned their bodies. We started to get in a little foul trouble there tonight, but, when you play 40 minutes at that level, you're going to have a few fouls. So,
Any other questions for the student athletes? Last one.
Obviously, Stanford hit those 4 straight threes to start the fourth quarter. I think they cut it to 4.
Yeah.
What's the message? What's the mindset? What's the feeling at that point? It felt like I think you had a couple quick drives, couple quick baskets. Is that at that point you feel like maybe you had to try to take over or anything at that point?
Well, we knew Stanford was going to come out and punch us back, right? They were going to make some adjustments. They started Elena Smith, the post player that can shoot the 3, makes it a little bit more difficult in our zone. I knew for me personally, I needed to be super aggressive in transition and then try to, like I said, make the defense wrong. And, Chantel got some big rebounds. I was able to run, and we were able to make some shots. And that kind of pulled the game back out, and then we were able to kind of control the tempo from there. But, credit to them. They shot it well. They hit some big, timely shots as well. So, they're a very good team, and we knew that they were going to punch us.
Chantel wants to be a coach, and I think she made her first really good coaching decision tonight. She said, are we going to stay in this 2, or are we going to guard a man? And hey, it's a good idea. So we went 5. She brought it up. So her first coaching decision victory was about 4.5 minutes ago. That was big.
Our student athletes can be dismissed. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Can now. See you in a minute.
Yes, I'll give them to your SID. I
Thank
do that
you.
with every team.
Steve? You take it.
There's still there's a possibility now y'all could get 2 teams in the Final Four
Yeah.
from the Pac-12, and one of them won't be Stanford. What would it mean to have 2, particularly Stanford being the standard bearer of this conference for so long, if you're able to have 2 teams and one of them not being the team everybody thinks of?
Stanford's still a standard bearer for us. It's a tribute to what they have done there for the rest of our coaches to use them as that standard to raise our level. The administrations in our conference have made an effort to give us everything we need to be competitive. Stanford has not fallen off, y'all. We've just raised. I'm telling you, and I think we see that by them being here. It would be great if Oregon State can do what we are all confident they can do and join us in the Final Four. But already I think the Pac-12 has validated what we've been saying since Christmas in trying to spread the word that I know you've heard it before, but the Pac-12 is really good. I think we've said that in the past, and it was kind of sometimes hard to validate. But 3 teams in the Elite 8, 4 teams in the Sweet 16, and now at least 1 in the Final Four. I think at least if we're not in the argument, we should be.
Not to insinuate, but I assume with the 12-0 run to start the game, you were probably happy with the preparation.
Yeah.
But you can talk about the preparation, but what did you think of the focus from there on? It seemed like, especially offensively, you kept going and going and going.
Well, we've always felt like we have an advantage when we run, and you've got to get stops to do that. So the defense led to the offense, but we are fresh. We started in January, only practicing 1 day a week, taking a second full day off, really working on our bodies, making sure on the days in between games, when we played Friday, Sunday, that we didn't tax their bodies too much. And now we're fresh. So the day in between, we came in, we spread out around Rupp Arena. Y'all were talking about the historic part of it. I told the kids to go sit in the top, go find a corner, enjoy this place, because y'all will realize 20 years from now how legendary it is. So we watched film on their own, just kind of spread around. Had a really light day on Saturday, but our focus was really good for about 40 minutes. When I got them together, I said, this is where we really need to go and focus. It was as good as it's been. They were on point. They had good questions. We went through their defensive adjustments that we make every game, and we put a few tweaks into our offense that we wanted to run early. It's the first time all year that Lexus actually's brought the ball up the court and attacked on the first play. We haven't done that all year long, and we thought they're probably over there preparing, but I can guarantee they haven't prepared for this. And she drove that thing in there and laid it in, and from that point on, that's when those kids looked around like, here we go. And I thought the start was tremendous. It was so tremendous that when we finally had a bad possession, and I think it was 16 or 17 possessions in, we kind of stood around and ended up getting a shot clock. They were mad at each other. And I was like, y'all, calm down, But they were at that level of focus. It calmed me down. I've got a lot of friends here that have kept me calm throughout the week, and then my daughter drove up from Arkansas through the night. After she got off work, it couldn't be more. That's the proudest moment. The moment from Dad is that she didn't try to get out of work. She went to work and then drove through the night with some friends to surprise me this morning. So everybody here has kept us calm. They've kept us feeling like it was at home. And the team's focus comes from these guys over here. They won't. If I start to let it get away from myself, they bring it right back in.
Coach, obviously you guys have always believed. That's been the message, the motto, kind of from the get-go. But still, a 3-game tear like this, Maryland, Kentucky, Stanford, these are top 13 teams all each, and to just hammer them. I mean, are you a little surprised that you're playing? I know you guys think you're good, but to be playing that good and that consistently?
Yes and no. I mean, I certainly knew we're capable of it. You just don't know how a group of kids are going to react in the environments that we've been in, tremendous environments. We talked a lot about it at the beginning of the year that, we've had the right pieces, but sometimes the right pieces don't end up making a puzzle. I think this group really fits together and forms a good puzzle. So I'm not surprised at the way we've done it. I'm surprised with maybe the manner in which a lot of people have said, wow, y'all are fun to watch, or man, you made it look easy. Certainly has not felt easy, but it's the calmest I've been all year long, I think, too, on the side. You guys see me more than that, but they have done all of the things they need to do to go out there with a little bit of quiet cockiness. There's a quiet calm about them. There's not a cockiness in any of our groups, but there is a quiet swagger to them, and I think you have to have that, and our group's developed it about halfway through the year and has just kept building on it.
Any other questions for the head coach?
Oscar Woodall here with Media WTB Radio. Coach, you're going to soak this in, take some time off, of course, but is there any preference, or I don't want to say preference, but what do you know about the pending opponents that you might face?
Yeah, we played Syracuse in a tournament this year in Las Vegas. They're a potential matchup along with Tennessee, who I know very well. One of my staff members' sisters on the team. I watch the SEC a lot. We have no preference. I mean, obviously, whoever gets there is going to be playing great. We will enjoy it. We're going to go back to Seattle. We did that from Maryland. We went from Maryland home and then came back, so we're going to go back to Seattle. I think it's really, really important that our kids get to experience the excitement that Seattle is. As good a city as Lexington is, Seattle is equally as great sports city. I'm sure the welcome home is going to be great. Our kids need to experience that. Sleep in their own bed. Let us do a little bit of work, and then we'll start our trek to Indy probably toward the end of the week.
Any other questions for the head coach? Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.